Today I'm feeling so exhausted, and I feel like that's okay. We all have those days, and lately it's been very high, very low, very high. Anyway, if you're feeling exhausted today, may this be a safe space to feel exhausted together. And hopefully tomorrow is better. But this is so nice. This is like therapy. It's free therapy. This tree is split all the way up, and I'm thinking it had to have been struck by lightning or something, because it's like struck all the way up and hollowed out, and it's crazy. I wonder what's living inside it. Actually, I don't want to know. Buonanotte. I'm here at my typewriter, and I wanted to share something. I've been doing a lot of research for my manuscript that I'm working on, which is building up. They're all manually typewritten, and today I actually had the first bit of difficulty with my typewriter, not to do with the typewriter being not good or anything. Yeah, pumpkin. I just had to flip the or re-spool the ribbon. I've never opened this up before, and I did, and it took me a couple of attempts to try and figure it out, but I did, and it seems to be working. I just might need to order some new ribbon preemptively, because I know that this one is going to run out. Excuse Pumpkin, she's being very talkative tonight. So yeah, I'm going to get down and do some more writing, but I wanted to share first what I found in my research, because I thought that it was quite nice. So let me find it. This is from Guru Nanak. Meditation should begin with the truth as its object, and as one progresses, one should give all importance to the truth of the present moment. As one advances step by step with the base of truth, one finally reaches the stage where one attains the ultimate truth. One who wants to practice this path of truth does not gain anything by mere thinking or reasoning. It was when I was researching a bit more about Dharma and the history of that, specifically the ancient history, because according to my research, the definition of Dharma has been misconstrued, as I figured out a lot of terms in the meditation world have been. A lot of definitions have been muddied over time and just, I don't know, have been so misunderstood. So it's great to go back to the ancient roots and to really affirm what it actually means at the root of the word. So that's the same thing with Dharma. So I've been going into that because it's something that I really wanted to write about and do more research into. I love the analogies that I found so far. I found this great article that talks about Dharma, and I'm just going to read it to you, and I'll link it in the description. So In ancient times, Dharma meant the universal laws of nature, which are applicable to everyone. This is because it got misconstrued and people started associating it with only Buddhist or certain religions, when it's actually not a part of anything religious. It is a universal law that applies to everybody, no matter what your belief system is. As it says, even today, we come across Dharma being used in this sense. For example, in Hindi, we say that it is the Dharma of fire to burn and to cause to burn. Here, Dharma has nothing to do with any religion, but means the nature of fire. Likewise, ice is ice. The Dharma of ice is to be cold and to cause cool. This is the nature of ice, which is universal and eternal. So it's basically the nature of being, which I thought was really beautiful. It is the Dharma of fire to burn and to cause to burn. It is the Dharma of ice to cool, to cause cool. So if we think of Dharma in humanity, I mean, the most beautiful thing I can think of is the Dharma of humanity is love. No. Is that what I said? The Dharma of humanity is love. I'm just still trying to figure this out. The nature of humanity to love. That's ultimately what I would hope, the majority would be, is, the nature of humanity is to love. So the Dharma of humanity is love. And this chapter is called Lead with Love, Lead with Truth. And I think the only way to lead with love is to lead with truth, because when you're honoring your truth, you can actually act out of a place of purity and love and unconditional love. And unconditional love means showing up without judgment, without criticism, just being as you are in whatever state you are. That's a truthful state. So there cannot be any lies, there cannot be any muddiness in the water when you're showing up that way. So I'm going to write from the standpoint that Dharma is humanity. The Dharma of humanity is love. And I'm going to try and translate that into my own way. But this article was very insightful and very helpful, so I'll link it in the description if you do want to have a read. But today was really insightful. I felt awful when I woke up, like truly, truly awful, truly exhausted and just not having it. I thought a lot about Neville Goddard. I've been listening to his audiobooks. I'm on to his second book. Well, not like second consecutive book. It's just another one of his books. And it's really been insightful and very aligned with stuff that I have always believed. It's just being reaffirmed, which is kind of cool, and expanded upon in ways that I hadn't thought of before. And when I was sitting in this kind of well of self-pity, I just said to myself, okay, but this is the truth that I'm accepting, and do I want that to be my truth that I'm living today? And I thought, of course not. Why would I want to live in a state of suffering today? So I tied up my shoes, I got dressed and I went outside. And lucky for me, just a blessing, is there's a forest, beautiful hike, a loop walk down the street. And I just started walking. I didn't know how far I'd go. I went down to the first point, which is the creek. And I was just analyzing. I was just being in nature at first and trying to get into like a flow state. And I was noticing some extra fallen trees that had fallen since last time I'd been there. And one of them had fallen across the creek and created a bridge, which was really beautiful. And then I continued on up the stairs and into the actual forest walk. And I sat at a picnic table, on the picnic table, because I'm always freaked out about spiders being under the table and like falling onto my legs. So there was no aesthetic reason to that other than the fact that I'm just really wary of spiders. I sat on the picnic table and then I laid on the picnic table and I looked up at the beautiful canopy above of trees, and I was next to this tree I already told you guys, which looked like it had been struck by lightning. I made an oath to myself in that moment that I would not let myself be self-pity, because you are what you think. And I instead was like, it's okay to feel exhausted. That's fine. And I allowed myself to feel that, but I was like, okay, now we're going to walk it off. Now we're going to enter into some high vibrational energy. I went further along the trail. I went all the way down back to where the creek continues on, I suppose, from a different place. And I just sat there for a bit and I was listening to the audiobook, the Neville Goddard audiobook. And it was just reaffirming the things. Did you hear that? Reaffirming. It was just reaffirming the things that I was already thinking about in terms of living my truth and shifting the mindset and being a little bit more careful about what kind of thoughts I'm letting into my space. And yeah, just allowing myself to feel and feel with no judgment too. Coming to the space with yourself, free of judgment, with unconditional love, in a place of truth and purity, so you can accept yourself with open arms, with no strings attached. Long story short, I've just been learning about how important it is to show up for yourself in the right ways and in the most productive ways that you can, and in the most loving, truthful ways that you can. Yeah, Pumpkin agrees. She's super restless tonight, so you'll probably hear her meowing throughout this whole thing. Yeah, I'm just going to work on this chapter a little bit more, add it to the mix, and then work on some other possible topics for tomorrow. Pumpkin is getting super restless, so I'm going to have to pay her some attention before she actually explodes. And then I'm going to continue on with this chapter and hopefully get to bed at a reasonable hour, which we'll see. Tomorrow on the agenda, I have an audition to film, just some general things to send off and people to make contact with. But yeah, comunque, I think I'm going to end this video here. I don't know how long or short this video is going to be. I think it's probably going to be like tiny, but anyway, I love you and I'll talk to you in my next one. Ciao.